Okay, so first of all, I apologize for the technical issues earlier. I should be the first presenter, right? Because of some technical issues, I wasn't able to load my presentation slides. And second, apologize is because time constraint. So there are a lot of graphs that I cut off because I wanted to explain it better. Okay. So today I'm gonna present a paper with the title Community Structures of Coral Reefs Around Peninsular Malaysia. Okay, so on this picture on the right, it is actually a picture taken by me at one of the islands at Peninsular Malaysia. Now you might be wondering, what is Peninsular Malaysia? Okay, so Malaysia actually can be split into two sides. One is the West Malaysia and East Malaysia. So you can see here there's these red lines, which is Malaysia, but below over here is not Malaysia. So today we're going to talk about West Malaysia only. So why should we study the community structures of coral reefs around Peninsular Malaysia? It's because it represents about 80% number from the coral triangle. So why is coral triangle important? Because about 75% of the world coral species are found in the coral triangle. So as you can see here, the black lines is the coral triangle in 2011, and it includes the countries like Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, Singapore, Indonesia, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, and Solomon Island. So the star sign over here is the Peninsular Malaysia that we're going to discuss today. Second is because many resorts causes destruction to coral reefs. So you can see here there are many resorts in Peninsular Malaysia and there are many people as well. Third is because coastal construction brings in sedimentation. So how does a sedimentation look like? This is an example of sedimentation from coastal development. So of course we know that it will harm the coral reefs. So today we will find out first the dive site with the greatest coral health, because I know that like most of you guys are scuba divers. And second is the dive site with the most coral genera. And third is the dominant coral community. So what is genera? Genera is a taxonomy group. It is to classify more than one species. As you can see here, genera is the class above species when undergoing the taxonomy group. So let's introduce the study sites. So we can split them further into West Coast and East Coast. Ignore the hard science over here. It's about the cafes and restaurants that I would like to visit, so it's not included into this paper. But we will look at the star signs over here. So on the West Coast, we have Paya Island, Pangkor Island. On the East Coast, we have Perhentian Island, Tioman Island, and Cebu Island. There is a total of 11 study sites. Now let's follow the steps. As you can see here, we will have to first put a 10-meter transect lines. The yellow lines here is the transect lines, and it's about 10 meters long. Then there will be measuring marks every 0.5 meters. So you can see two cross over here, and the distance between the marks is 0.5 meters. Then we will have to take a picture of the area. And total of 10 transect lines at one site. Next, after we take all these images, we will analyze the images using a software called Analysis. So this is the picture that we put into the software, and this is the result that we will get. As you can see here, they tell us about the genus, about the life form categories, and about the live coral area. For this one, is non-corpora massive, takes out about 424.1 centimeters square. So the analysis software helps us to trace coral outline, However, it is not suitable for complicated morphology. So complicated morphology is complicated shape of coral, which is this one. Okay. And then so we will use another software called Halcon to analyze these kind of images because it's too complicated. Then you can see here we will get images that differentiate between sand and rocks and the corals. So you can see here there's this figure, so I explained it just now, which is live coral area. So what is live coral area? So live coral coverage is a percent of reef surface covered by live coral instead of sponges, algae, or other organisms. So just now we know that the live coral area is about 1,014.2 centimeters square, which is 0.10 meters square, divided by the area of 0.25 meters square, and times 100%, we are able to get the live coral coverage in this area is about 40%. Do you guys agree? Next, after we find out about the live coral coverage, we can get the coral health condition. In this table, we can see that if the live coral coverage falls under 75% to 100%, it is excellent coral health. So just now we only get about 40%, so it falls under fair coral health. In this graph, we are able to see the x-axis is the study sites, and the y-axis is the live coral coverage by percentage. As you can see here, the maximum here is only 70%. So we can easily tell that the excellent, so only if the site falls under 75 to 100% of live coral coverage is considered excellent. So is there any site that exceeds 75% over here? No. So there is no study sites has excellent coral health. And then maybe there is good coral health study sites? Yes, there is. So good coral health study sites falls between 50% to 74.9%. And yes, there are good coral health sites, which is site D, E, and I. And then for fair coral health sites, it falls between 25% to 49.9%, which is over here. And then it includes sites B, C, G, H, K. So there are 5 study sites here. We can easily tell that most of the coral reefs falls under fair coral health, and it is pretty similar to coral reefs in Southeast Asia. And then the last coral health conditions, which is poor. Okay, there are still study sites that falls under poor health condition, which is site A, F, J. Then we will explain the coral diversity. Now, this x-axis is also the same, which is the study sites. And then on the y-axis, we have the number of genera, which we explained earlier. Okay, as you can see here, the highest number of genera is site E. It has about 19 genera. Then the least genera is the site B, which has 8 genera. Then we can further split them into the West Coast and East Coast. And we can easily tell that East Coast has generally higher number of genera. This might be due to the monsoon season in the East Coast, so there is intermediate physical disturbance. Imagine there is physical disturbance during the monsoon season, sorry. And then it actually promotes more diversity on East Coast. Now, this is a conclusion with the study map. So if you would like to visit a study site with good coral health, then you can visit site D, site E, and site I. If you would like to visit poor coral health, then you can visit site A, site F, and site J. So, and then you can see here, there is MVP, which is the site with the most genera, and then there is also least genera, which is site B. So you can see here, if you want to go to scuba diving, where would you go? The best diving site is at Site E, which is Daman Bay, Perhentian Island. And also it requires the most effort as well. So which genera dominates? As you can see here, Acropora genus dominates. It might be due to the tolerance of sedimentation that helps them to become dominant more readily. The second is the Porites genus. Then the last is the Montipora genus. So these three dominant genera adds out to 74% of the total live coral coverage. So today we already find out the dive site with the highest coral health, which is Site I, and the dive site with the most genera, which is Site E, and the most dominant coral community, which is Acropora genus. So the take-home message is about, although the coral community around Malaysia has the greatest species diversity in the coral triangle, there is still little published information. So a greater conservation effort is still required. Thank you, everyone.